Welcome back, my dear students. So let's start playing around with our code. So I'm gonna get all that off and I'm gonna create a folder here. I'm gonna call this node 2. All right. And then I'm gonna open this in my IDE. I usually have music. If you look at my file right here, I usually have like a little music when I'm coding. So I recommend it for those of you that like to make your code a little bit more exciting. All right. So I'm gonna open that file in my IDE. You can use whatever you want, your text editor or whatever it is that you're using. And right here, there we go. Now the first step to every Node.js application that we need to do when we start creating one is configure it to be a Node.js application, right? So npm init. There we go. It's gonna ask for the package name. I'm just gonna press enter to give it the same name. Version. I'm just gonna put database stuff. And I suggest you guys to actually code along with me. Enter, enter. Whatever you want it to be default, just press enter. Okay. Now this is going to create a package.json, of course. Now, in order for us to connect, we need to download some type of module. Okay. Everything in Node.js is about module. Let's go ahead and download MongoDB. So npm install MongoDB. Enter. Now, a side note here. If you're doing this command npm install MongoDB and it doesn't install your reference here to that dependency, that means that you don't have the most current version of npm and you need to use -- save. Right now, as I'm recording this video, I updated my npm and now I don't have to type in save, the save flag, because it will do it automatically for me. By default, the installed command will put this save. There we go, as you can see. Okay, so now of course we have to require this, but let's go ahead and go back to Express database integration and let's look for that MongoDB. And of course, let's just play around with it and see what we get. I'm gonna create a file here called app.js. I'm gonna paste that in there. Okay, now we don't have this mammals collection, and when we talk about instead of tables in MySQL, in MongoDB we call this collections. Okay, a collection of documents. Now I'm gonna comment that out because we don't have that collection, right? We don't have this collection of mammals, and we don't even have a database called of mammals. But if we run this with nodemon app.js and press enter, you can see that something is happening here. It looks like it's connected. And you might be wondering, why in the world is this connected? To what database? We have not created a database. Well, MongoDB does not need to have a database in order for it to connect. We don't have that database, but it's assuming that we will create one. And the way that it creates a database is when we first insert data into that wannabe database. So right now, that database does not exist. Okay. So Control C. I'm gonna get one of these console pieces of code here. I'm just gonna say connected here, just to give me some type of indication that it is connected. Nomon app, and you see that it is connected. Okay, so this is how you connect using the MongoDB client. This is like the default client, but we're not going to be using this connection for a database. We're going to be using our Mongoose connection. So Mongoose is the ODM that I was telling you about, the object document mapper, which is going to allow us to create models later on of our data, which is going to make things a lot easier. The CRUD operation is going to be a breeze because we just have to use the methods that they have for us. It's very similar to what we have in Laravel and PHP, which is our ORM, object relational mapper. but in this case is an object document mapper. So let me show you how we do this in Mongoose in the next lecture.